Hi, everyone. Pastor Sean here, and I'm with John Riggs, who is a member here at Bel Air UMC. And if you worship in the contemporary service, you've probably also seen him on stage with the band playing one of several different instruments. This week, we're talking with different folks from Bel Air UMC so that the people of this church can stay connected in new ways, and so that the people of this church can be encouraged by the stories of how God is working in other people's lives. John, thanks for joining me today.
Thank you, Sean.
Yeah, so John, you're a physician who works in a hospital setting, and we've all seen in the news, and I imagine that hospitals are pretty tense or at least intense places right now. So tell us a little bit from your side of things. What's this COVID-19 pandemic been like for you?
Well, I don't personally take care of the patients who have terrible problems with their breathing, respiratory problems, cardiac problems. I do obstetrics and gynecology. And what we don't see on the news is all of the other providers, physicians, nurses, et cetera, who are doing their best to try to support those parts of the hospital that really are getting a lot more attention.
Mm.
And we're doing that by trying to minimize the amount of exposure that non-COVID patients would get. So I'm trying to reprioritize patients and make sure they're not coming in unless they really need to, doing a lot more work over the telephone, um, and trying to keep in touch with them and stay on top of it so that if they have problems that really do need to get brought into the hospital, we do that, but we don't do that too early so that we can save all the PPE and not expose them to the virus. So it's a little different, and it's much slower for me. A lot more anxiety for my friends who are on the front lines of these very sick patients. A lot of concern and trying to support them as best we can.
Yeah. So one of the things that we're discovering is that we're kind of launching into new routines and doing new things, and I'm finding sometimes extra space. You said things are a little bit slower, so maybe you're noticing new things. Have there been any unexpected blessings that you've experienced or seen in this strange time?
Yeah. So, just in my own home, it's been really a wonderful time to be able to actually sit down and get to know my wife even better. We've been married for a long time. It's really just the two of us, my mother-in-law and our two dogs. And so really having some quiet time to be able to sit back and reflect on what's most important to us. In the workplace, the quietness has really brought many of my colleagues closer together in the sense of really trying to make sure we're doing the absolute best care for the right people at the right time and protecting our patients from getting exposed to the virus in any way we can. So it's brought a lot of closeness, even though we're separated in ways that I hadn't anticipated.
Yeah, so it sounds like, and maybe this would resonate with other folks too, that both at home and at work, you're able to focus in a new way or have a new place to put your focus. And we've been trying to find all sorts of new things to do with the kids, or just sort of extra
Mhm.
things to do with the time we've got at home. I see a bunch of instruments behind you. I know you're a musician. What's been your favorite thing to do during this stay-at-home season?
Well, it's a toss-up between playing my mandolin or guitar, spending time with my wife, cooking things, just talking, walking our dogs. I do spend a lot of time when I'm not studying and doing home, work from home with that thing right there, um, which is a lot of fun. Um, That's probably, and actually also been with some help from Kenneth, been exploring a little bit of like home recording things. Nothing that I would ever let anybody else listen to, but it helps me as a musician to hear myself. It's fun.
I was just about to ask whether you would do a live show for us, but maybe we're not there yet. The last thing, John, I keep telling everyone, and maybe as a way to remind myself, that God's not quarantined, even if we are.
Right.
And so I'm wondering, can you tell us about a way that you've seen God at work lately?
Mm. Yeah. Um, it's really beautiful when things get quiet and get slow, the beauty of the world outside. We've spent a lot more time outside. Kathy and I often remark about how quiet it is, how you can really just hear things growing. We've been blessed with wonderful weather, and that's one aspect of God that I often overlook. I take for granted. Um, the other is the way in which it's sort of a. I wrote about this actually in a posting to the church, that the virus points out to me how quickly things spread throughout mankind. That what started off as a tiny little uh, DNA particle on the other side of the planet now is all over the world. And that's a real reminder to me that God is speaking to us in saying we have to be careful what comes from us. We have to reflect on and make sure that our words are, and what we put out from ourselves are things that are beautiful in God's eyes. And so that the biology of all that really kind of sinks together with me in my concept of what God's wanting us to do for each other.
That's really, really good. And we're going to end there. Thanks, John, for sharing with us. I'm grateful for your presence and your leadership at Bel Air. It's great to hear from you this morning. For everybody who's watching today, if you've got a story to share about how you've seen God at work lately, go to belairumc.org/stay connected, and you can share it there. So have a great day, everybody. See you soon. Thank you, John.
Bye-bye.